Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Staying a Fraction Ahead. This event is brought to you by SIAM VIT. The Society for Industrial and Applied Mathematics, or SIAM, is an international chapter with a populace of more than 14,000 individuals across the globe. It has presence only in 5 colleges within the country, with VIT being the only private institution in this elite group. Our objective is to advance the applications of mathematics and computational science to engineering, industry, science, and society. But rest assured, math isn't all we do. We are a technical chapter and we dive into various domains like AI, ML, web dev, app dev, etc. And we aim to find technical solutions to real world problems. All right. Enough about SIAM. So now we would like to welcome all our panelists for the evening who have taken time out from their busy and hectic schedules. We would first like to introduce Professor Kathiravan sir. Sir has completed his PhD from Anna University, and before he joined VIT, Sir was the Deputy Director of Office of International Affairs at National Ilan University, Taiwan, for which he also received the Best Service Award. Sir is currently serving as the editor, associate editor, and the guest editor for various journals. Sir was also awarded the IEEE Access Outstanding Associate Editor for the year 2020 and 2019 as well. His research interests include machine learning, artificial intelligence, deep learning, communication systems, and networks and computer vision, multimedia, data analytics, and feature engineering. Next, we have with us Jay Kumar sir. Sir is an associate professor from the Scope School. You might have seen him for many of your Scope School classes also. He has experience in various domains like ML, deep learning, intrusion detection systems, etc. Finally, here with us today, our beloved Jay Karthikeyan sir. He is an associate professor from the Site School. Sir has 11 years of experience in teaching. Sir has completed his doctorate in 2014. An additional fun fact about sir, he is also a VITN. So now we'd move to the next segment. So I'd like to welcome you all. Thank you all for coming. So, sir, how are you all today, sir?
Very good.
Yeah, good,
Okay,
Mr.
sir. So,
Amol. Good,
yes, sir,
thank
welcome, sir.
you. Introduction. Thank you for the wonderful introduction.
Okay, so a little about today's event, how we are going to function. We will be asking a few questions to our professors, and we'll be having our panel discussion side by side. If you have any comments for the professors, you can mention that in the chat, and we will be taking those questions at the end of this session. So, oh, now we have Gitanjali ma'am also with us. Welcome, Gitanjali ma'am.
Some problem. Sorry for that interruption. Right. Yes,
Okay, ma'am.
go
So we're
ahead.
just about to begin, ma'am. So we've begun, ma'am. So we'll move to our first question, which is open for discussion. So, ma'am, so this is mainly focused for the freshers and second year students who have not yet come on campus and they're unaware about research methodologies. So, as a student, ma'am, how does one student go about, selecting a stream or domain for which they want to research? This is open for everyone. Anybody who feels comfortable can go ahead and answer this. The follow up to this question would be how, once they select the domain or the stream which they want to select, how to explore all these domains so that they can make a complete decision that, all right, this, for example, AI is the field where I want to proceed, or IoT or blockchain. And since there are multiple fields in CS, so how to go about that? How can they make a decision and how can they explore the various domains?
Is it focused only for research you're asking about?
Yes, ma'am. Research or in general also, because for first years, anybody doing a core degree would having all the options. Or in fact, from other degrees also, they would not be entirely knowing what their field is about. So how can they go about exploring or finalizing the domain which they would be wanting to pursue in the next years?
Yeah, as it is said to be for students, I'll mainly say that the basic, whatever the information they know, and it is
Yes.
also out of their interest. First and foremost thing is interest. Some students are very interested in programming, some are technically involved, and some like to make a product. So, based on their interest and some foundation of knowledge like programming, interested in any particular domain alone, they are interested in some trending topics or something they would have come across like this is being trending related to engineering. So there they can focus and start. So we don't have any particular stream that only this is going to be best. This is the only topic for research. It is worthy. No, we don't have anything such sort.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
it is out of interest and also the trend and how far they are going to go further. So from existing only they'll start. So how far they can go for the future Maybe it is also based on their team members, or if they're doing in a group. So how the interest is going to be developed and making it for the future. Maybe for the next 1 year, 2 years, we are going
Right.
to work on that. So in that 1 and 2 years, what all developments they can have a foresight. So
Yes, sir.
based on that foresight, they can choose. And this is purely the student oriented. Right? No
Okay.
one is going to say that this is the point and this is the subject you have to study. So
Right.
interest on the student and the industry, what they are going to work for. Industry, whether they're going for higher studies or they are going to plan for making a business, they're going to be an entrepreneur or someone. So what is required for business? What can they make money out of? That is purely, no, that's what we are actually running for, right? So what they can make money out of, and something, if it is a service oriented person, something I have to do and I want to do something which no one has else done in the world, if that is also a point, they can focus on it. There is no such point that this is the subject, this is the area, or this is the limit. So it can be boundaryless. This
Okay.
is my point.
Yes.
This is
Yes,
how
ma'am.
we also did. Maybe,
Kathirman, sir,
sir,
you would
anyone
want
sir
to.
can answer for this.
So, would you want to
Uh,
build up on how to select a domain, how to identify interests, and how to go about exploring things?
yes, to add to Madam's viewpoints, see, one way is to go with the trend. The trend, like what people are right now looking for, how the companies are hiring, so they can make a search. These days a lot of information is available online, in which
Right.
domain there are opportunities. So students should check for the areas where there are opportunities and see whether those opportunities, for example, if there are opportunities in as a data scientist or like a machine learning expert or an AI expert or in virtual reality, see whether
Right.
those opportunities are matching their areas of interest. So see, sometimes they should go by their intuitions. When these
Right.
days they from school they have all information. It's not like 20, 30 years ago where all information is available with the students and they know what AI is all about. They also learn about it in school. So that could be a starting point. And another way is maybe they could also choose a topic that they learn. Suppose if they are doing a course in machine learning or a course in natural language processing, they could
Yes.
identify some topic that is closer or related to that specific domain and choose a topic for the research. That could be one suggestion. There are many, but
Yes.
let's confine to this discussion. Okay.
Okay. So, okay, fine, sir. Now that we know how can they go about the trends and the way they are, so, sir, what are the certain topics in research which students should be promoted to do in CS? Like, what are the upcoming topics for which students have an opportunity to do research in? Like, AI ML is very heard of. So, apart from AI ML, what are the emerging budding fields in which people can pursue research? This is in general. Maybe we can have Jaykumar sir's opinion on this.
Yes, nowadays you have a lot of research area. So for especially in the field of medical, uh, so a lot of applications based on the ML and AI.
Yes, sir.
So apart from that, so how it is useful to society, the first you identify. So
Right, sir.
what are the important things nowadays? So first identify the problem and find a solution for that problem. So that is very important.
Okay, sir. Okay.
So to
Gitanjali
add
ma'am,
to
we know
the
you.
Jack,
Yes, sir. Yes, Karthik
Yes,
ma'am, sir.
yes.
yeah, yeah. So with that blockchain technology, the students
Yes,
they're
sir.
interested now that blockchain technology they can use that currencies. I think hope
Yeah,
the
everybody
students
is
might have heard
interested
about
in this.
cryptocurrencies, right?
Right, sir.
So
Right.
that they can choose the blockchain technology. So that is also an emerging research area now, deep
Right, sir.
learning.
Right.
So the students might have heard about AI and ML. So
Yes,
once
sir.
they
Yes.
get in, then they will be able to, get to know about that advanced research what has been going on. so deep learning,
Right, sir.
blockchain. So these are all the emerging research area and company. So they want people, those who have been working on these areas.
Right, so right. Okay, so one then very important question which students ask is that recently I've started doing Python and I've started data science courses on Udemy, Coursera, and I've started the Andrew NG course on Coursera, and I'm into machine learning. But how much knowledge is required before I start writing my own research paper or my review paper? Because there is a lot of data available on the internet. There is a lot of types of courses available on the internet. So how do I decide now I've come to a certain level? How do I decide that this level is good enough for me to be pursuing something in research? So what is the level of knowledge that one needs to possess before we start doing any research work?
So it doesn't require much knowledge actually. It's a learning, right? So
Yes, sir.
it's a long way of learning, right? So
Right,
actually anybody can start. It's based on like ma'am and sir mentioned, like based on the interest. Like first they have to choose in which area they would like to go for. So if they're really interested to A or ML in, so I think so like in their area, not only computer science. So the
yes, yes,
students from mechanical or triple E. So in that, based on their interest, they can choose, and there are papers, journals, articles are available. So they
yes,
have to
yes.
go through the journals, okay, and so once they started doing that, so they'll get interested in it. So it doesn't require any prerequisite knowledge or kind of. And as you mentioned,
Yes,
like
sir.
data science, like they can learn some, that courses which are available in online.
Yes,
So,
yes, sir.
while they are doing it, parallelly they can, start, going through some articles. So they will be first. They have to
Right, sir.
get the, problem identification. So what they are
Okay.
supposed to do. So when they start any research, first problem identification. So what is going to exist. So each and every system has some limitations, right?
Okay,
So
sir. Yes, sir.
whatever you invent, so definitely there will
Right.
be some limitations, right? So nobody can go with the perfect and 100% system or application. So in that, the students, if they start doing the literature survey, like if they start go through the articles in that area, so first they have to identify the area in which they want to do their research. So once they have done
Yes, sir.
it, then they have to start identifying the good articles from good journals. They have to, then they will start, go through it. So parallelly they can do the course accordingly. Like you mentioned, that data science, if they are doing the course, it doesn't
Right.
related to the starting of this. There is no starting point. That's what I would like
Yes,
to
sir.
say.
Very nicely put, sir. It's an extending learning process that is called
Yeah.
research. Very nicely put. So, Kathiravan, sir, would you want to add on to something? Add on something to this?
Yes. So, firstly, it is always better to do after identifying the topic, say what the student is interested in. Let's say, as earlier pointed out, it could be AI or its domains like machine learning, deep learning. There are other topics like virtual reality, digital twins, blockchain. So it is so wide. Technology is so wide, and whichever technology they are interested in, they could narrow down the area or a group
Yes.
of areas. Like it could be a combination of AI and blockchain and so on. I'm just saying. First, as Sir pointed out, firstly, it is always better to have a very good understanding of their field, like what are the basics, essentials. Suppose, let's say they want to start their research, it is always good to do a literature survey in that specific area. For example, let's say they want to have diabetes forecasting or diabetes prediction. So, first step is maybe they could identify some kind of a data set or a benchmark data set, see what are the available papers in the literature, and based on those papers, they could note down what are the existing key points from those papers, what are the papers pointing out, what are the limitations of those papers. And in those
Right.
papers or research articles, they might have also mentioned about the future scope. So from there on, they can take it forward. So first, it is always good to start with a review paper. and from their understanding from the review paper, they can move on to a research paper. So that is my suggestion. But there are various ways of doing it. You could do a smaller review. You could also do a comprehensive review. You could do a systematic review, a scoping review. Like that, there are various ways of doing a review. But it is advisable to do a good review paper first and then move on with a research article. Okay, starting a research paper.
Right, sir.
So once they do a review paper, they get a complete idea about what are the existing methodologies that are used, what are these methodologies lacking, and what next could be done, what all parameters they could focus on. All these things they could learn about. Okay.
Yes, sir. All
Like
right.
in
So I'll
addition,
move on to
yes,
yes,
Mr.
sir.
Amol,
Please.
in addition, they could also
Yes, sir. Please.
see the open challenges or open problems that are unsolved in that specific area. Suppose in diabetes prediction, what are the problems that are not solved, or what how these problems could be solved in the future. So those
Right,
things
sir.
could definitely help them. Okay, thank you.
Okay, sir.
Over to you.
Actually, this partially answers one of my next questions, which was once we identify the domain, how do we find the right topic and make our paper stand out? So one way is I definitely identifying, going through various papers and then seeing the open challenges and future works. But if I'm not sure that I want to go into diabetes, if I were to check in general, how can I find the list of topics which are available and open for research currently? It may be in ML, for example. Let's take an example of ML AI for now. If I had to find a topic as a fresher or a first year or second year student, what is the right way to find the topic and make my particular paper stand out from the crowd and the rest of the papers which are being published? So maybe this time we'll start with Jaykumar, sir.
So your topic, first you have to select the appropriate topic based on their expertise. For as a second year student, they can select topic from whatever courses they learn. Okay. And after the
Right, sir.
third year, so they have learned lot of topics like web mining, machine learning, and natural language processing. Then only they got a wider area. So based on that, after second year, only you know the important topic domain. What are the domains available in the computer science, or what are the domains available in their field? It may be science or engineering or any other field. So,
So actually, I should rephrase my question. Once a topic is found, once the domain is found like MLAI, how to find the niche in which research should be conducted? Like if I've selected MLAI, then how do I go about selecting the topic? How do I find the topics which are available? If you could, tell us something on that. How to find the
See,
niche? Like sir mentioned diabetes, but how do I get to know that diabetes exists as an open problem from a fresher point of view or a new student point of view, not just second year, but anybody who's just completed a course in ML or NLP? How do I go and find that emotions, speech through emotion, or maybe any particular voice data analytics from NLP which could be taking? So how do I go around and find that niche in that particular domain?
See, Mr. Amol, it is always
Yes, sir.
advisable to, or it is a suggestion always to take the guidance of a professor. So maybe approach a
Okay.
professor and see what the professor suggests, because professors might be reviewing, editing more papers. So approach a professor, because when they review and edit papers, they come across the technologies, they come across the data sets that are very new, novel, and they are upcoming data sets. And also
Right.
participation in hackathons and other online events where they send challenging data sets. Also, that is one possibility where they could also pick out challenging data sets from Kaggle, Hacker Earth. That is one possibility. And there are many
Okay, sir.
open repositories like UC Irvine. So they have an open repository. There are many open repositories these days for data sets, benchmark data set. IEEE has an open data repository. like that Elsevier has its own data repository. It has a own data journal where data in brief, where it publishes only data content. So from all these papers, see, VIT provides a very beautiful link called e-gateway for online resources. So first,
Yes.
students should know how to use these online resources like e-gateway. What are the different databases that are available? For example, they should first know like which database they should choose, like IEEE, Elsevier, Springer, or Wiley, PubMed. So apart from that, we have so many databases that are widely available provided by VIT, and they could make use of that for their learning. See, in the
Right,
regular
sir.
classroom also, I would encourage students to read papers related to that specific module. So some module is related to AI, you have an applications of AI. You students could read some paper, download some paper, recent paper that is related to applications of AI that will provide the latest knowledge. In the textbook, yes, of course, textbook provides fundamental knowledge, but latest papers will give you what is happening right now in the trend. At least 6 months to 1 year, what is the trend now? It will give you the complete information. So that is one suggestion that I would provide to the students. Okay. Yeah. Thank
Right.
you. Over to
Very
you.
valid point, sir.
Actually, yeah, Sai
Yes.
is actually 100% correct. Actually, because it's very difficult for student to write a paper alone. I don't say it is not possible. It's possible, but it take much time. They will definitely they will be struggling because if they are
Yes.
new to the research, then definitely it takes much time. So it's better the students to approach a faculty who have been working on that particular domain. So definitely they will be getting the idea. Then the faculty might have gone through the problem statements. So the faculty have the data set, and then it's very difficult for the students to get the data set, and they will be struggling like how to get it. So like Sir
Right, sir.
mentioned, like the faculty might be having some idea, and the faculty will not be able to do the complete problem statements alone. So if the students approach, and if they're really interested, then the faculty will give the work to the student, and the faculty will guide them like how to write a paper. So like you
Yes.
mentioned, like how to can the student paper out like outstanding paper, how can, right? Like the faculty will guide them like how to write a paper, the flow of the paper, and the paper has to be published in a very good journal. So sailing a boat alone in a ocean is very difficult. So you should have a
Yes.
captain, a faculty. You can have a faculty like a captain to show how to, you know, uh, sailing the boat.
Yes, sir. Okay, so this leads me to my next question. In VIT, once I have identified my domain and my topic, how do I approach a professor? Because all professors have different domains, and we have so many professors in VIT. So, what is the right way to approach a professor, and how to identify professors who are doing research which is relevant to my topic?
Maybe I can give some point.
Yes, ma'am.
Uh, First, you just mostly all of you will be having a communication, a very good communication to the faculty currently handling to you, right? So you can talk to them. You can have a very frank talk and say, "This is my point or this is my idea. So I want someone to help me in this, guide me in this." Maybe the faculty can guide you to someone, and also you can have the information of faculty, specialization of faculty, and research publication details. Everything is there in the LinkedIn, ResearchGate, and also VIT website holds some of the best papers published by faculty. And in general, school departments and every department will have a specialization, and faculty will be based on their specialization. They are in departments, so it's quite easy for you to find out the faculty's area and the research area. So once if you get into a team of faculty, they can guide you to a correct faculty or the corresponding team, or right now someone who's in project or who's involved in some research collaboration. They can definitely guide you there. That's quite easy. This is a easy task, in fact. Maybe to very surely approach a very in a professor way or in a research oriented, you have to be well defined with your problem. Maybe you have to get a good idea and then meet them. It's
Okay.
not going to be with complete knowledge, but something like So we have just come across this particular paper, and it seems to be something related to my area of interest. So can you just guide me? Definitely, no faculty is going to say no, or they are not going to avoid you. They'll definitely, at least even if they are not able to do, they'll divert you to someone else. So
Okay, ma'am.
definitely that's easy. That's quite easy. For website is very easy way to access. Apart from that, you can contact the faculty who's handling you for that particular current subject. That you can get. Even the school office will help you for that. I think every school office there is a list of faculty, and their specialization area one, specialization area two will be filled up. So that you
Okay.
can get it from the school office or school secretary, and you can approach them.
I think this
Contact
is new
details,
information.
email IDs,
Yes, ma'am.
that's easy for you. That's quite easy. All of you get it.
Yes,
This is one way. Now, one easy way.
ma'am.
Maybe
This is one
someone
thing
else
which most
can
people
tell.
don't know, I think, ma'am, because since we're not on campus, so we
Uh,
don't even visit the office these days. Earlier, back in those days, for
go through
internship
the
letter, this
website.
letter, we used to go. But now, I think none of the first year and second year students don't know about the concept of school dean offices and all of that. So I think this will be a
I
new
think
point for them learning. Right?
only 2020 batch and 21 batch has some difficulty in that. As
Yes, ma'am.
seniors, you all can guide them in that. Definitely,
Yes,
you
ma'am.
can make them, you can show them the path that later on they'll teach you. They'll say which faculty is specialized in what, and who is not very good in a particular domain. That they will teach you later. But this is
Yes, ma'am.
initial stage, and actually everyone is isolated. So that's a
Yes, ma'am.
issue. They are not able to get correct information in a faster way.
Ma'am, then one more question, which is slightly smaller question, very direct question, and very common question. Once I approach the faculty, what are the chances of me getting rejected for my topic? What are the chances of me getting accepted by the faculty? Do faculties accept undergraduate students for research?
Sure. Doesn't mean undergraduate, postgraduate, or research scholar. They just find out what is the topic or domain, or is it something related to them? Because even they have to help you, right? In guiding, definitely they should
Yes,
be
ma'am.
expert, or at least they should have a 90% of knowledge to help you. So
Yes.
they are not going to reject you. Maybe they can redefine your problem. Maybe the problem
Okay.
you have defined is not straightly approaching to a solution. Maybe you are a little out of date, or some feasibility should be there, right? So
Yes, ma'am.
some problems cannot be practically implemented. People won't accept the output what we are trying to produce. Maybe after 5 years it will be practical, but now it is not feasible. So based on that, people might, it's not rejection, they might try to correct you. You should
Yes,
accept that correction. If your side is accepted, I think that is fine. So both the sides can be working on that. UG PG doesn't have any, we don't segregate any ideas like that.
ma'am. Okay, ma'am.
And maybe masters will help you to write or define a problem in a more detailed way. So
Yes, ma'am.
they would have had some project experience, or some people have would have worked on some project and known about it. So they might go for the problem very detailedly and correctly. So exactly it is focused. UG students, I think they require some more
Hand
knowledge
holding.
in making the problem very well defined.
Yes, ma'am.
That's the point. I have only one scholar, so I don't know how far I will be able to find out a problem is correct or not. And only when they start working, then only we can also find out, okay, they are in the right path, and whatever they defined as a problem is actually a problem.
Right, ma'am.
Because
Right.
later only we can know this.
Okay,
This
ma'am.
is my answer for that. Maybe sir can add for that. Everyone, sir or Jaikumar sir can add.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. So, see, it's approaching professor these days are very easy. Okay, VIT has provided MS Teams pathway where they can get the information of the professors. Just send a message if suppose the professor is from the same course that the students are in. They could send a request message introducing themselves and introducing their interests and topics to the professors. That is one way. Or they could also contact the professors through email, and having some meeting, they could schedule a meeting, discuss with the professors. It could be, even these days online meetings are possible. So they could schedule a meeting, discuss with the professors, and see what works for them. So in that way,
Yes.
that's a good point. Yeah.
Okay, sir. Okay. Most students
Now
actually.
I just
Yes.
have one point. For the
Yes.
previous question or before that, you were asking how to get it as a something like you said niche of a best paper or something, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Best work or best paper something. Usually, the evaluation of your paper is based on publisher and journal only.
This was my
Doesn't mean
next question, ma'am. How
yes,
to
it's not
identify
going to
a
be
good
your
journal?
work. Having a very good work published in a very unknown journal, a low level journal, or which is not being widely known, it's of no use. But if it is published in a very well reputed and known to everyone, and especially in engineering, if something like IEEE, Springer, they're all in a standard, they have reached a level there. So if something is known there, then people say that it must be a good work. Right?
Okay,
Apart
ma'am.
from that, we usually it doesn't mean that the journals which is not coming under IEEE or Springer is not good. We don't say like that. There are also some journals which is periodically they'll be in Scopus. Sometimes they'll be removed off, and they have a H index, and that H index will change. Impact factors will be increasing and decreasing. That doesn't matter for a journal. The work is going to be where it is projected is best.
So, ma'am,
So
that actually
work
brings me to my
doesn't
next
really.
question. How to identify a good journal? And I know as you mentioned, the faculty will be helping out with the functioning and everything. So faculties do know, but how do the faculties identify if the paper is suited for the journal and the journal itself is good? So how to identify a good journal and to see if if the topic is correlated with the journal? So should we start with Katiravan sir or Karthikeyan sir this time?
Have the answer.
Yes, actually, to ensure the quality of the journal, there is a organization called Scopus.
Right, sir.
Okay, so actually, at least the student when they would like to, as I mentioned, when they approach with the faculty, then definitely the faculty will guide, as you mentioned, like how the faculty is identifying, right? How the faculty members are identifying the good journal, like the minimum criteria, it should be a Scopus index. Okay, so our paper has to be published in a Scopus index. Like like how come, like how much work we have put in that research paper article, right?
Right.
So the innovation and the output. So based on that, you can go for the higher journal. So Scopus index, then you can go with some science index, SCI, we call it as a SCI journals. So which will be having some impact factor journals. So like Sam mentioned,
Right.
like IEEE, so very, very, very excellent journal. So like it's based on the work, like based on the article which you have, uh, completed. So based on that, we can choose. So the minimum criteria is like the journal should be a Scopus indexed.
Adding to this, I'll make 2 or 3 points. Each
Yes,
and
ma'am.
every journal will have different ways of publishing it yearly, quarterly, or special edition. And some will be very much specific with implementation and results. Some will be just an idea proposal also. So, what
Right, ma'am.
is your work? Based on that, you can choose the journal. And also, based on the guidance of the faculty, find out the scopus. And for the next 1 year, your paper should be in trending so that your paper will be identified as a survey paper for someone else, some other problem. And also, your paper will add weightage to some new problems to be identified. So, taking your paper as a benchmark, other problems will be addressed. So, your paper will be what to say? They'll make it as a report, and they'll try to make your paper as a base paper. So, finding out that, choose a journal, and every journal has so many subjournals, so many parts in it, levels in it, and some is being accepted worldwide, and some will have review comments, and they'll try to imposely ask you a question that how did you come out with this result, how was it made, can you explain it in detail or make something to be easily understandable. No, it's not about coding and graph, right? Some algorithm should be explained, and all these levels need to be addressed. Then make out, maybe if the journal is going to be found out as next 1 year this journal is addressed or accepted by everyone in this field, then choose it. Some journals will be, now and then entering Scopus, and sometimes it won't be found. So
Yes.
we have to also think that whether, because we are working, it's not an easy work. And
Hmm.
every night and day we work, implement it, get so many results. So many results will be failure results only. And making into a successful, we have to publish it somewhere it is uh, accepted by everyone, right? If watching a movie in OTT is different, watching a movie in the theater is different. You have some good experience there, right? But the
Yes, ma'am.
same story doesn't change. The way
Hmm.
you're going to experience is going to be giving you more ideas, more clarity. So
Right.
choosing a journal, I think first choice, give it to the guide or give it to your faculty. They will be definitely working on it around the clock. Say they'll give you guidance. Second thing is find out with your trend which journal is
Okay.
being read now, which publishers are very good right now, and is this publication going to be taken for the next level? Some publications will help you to make it for a volume, and that will be moved to a book. So to
Okay.
find out
It should not
whether
be a paid
that's
journal.
the
It should not be a
so
paid
paid
journal.
is another point, but it is actually for research scholars, right? Not for students. We don't
Uh,
say for students that word. But fees are being asked. Publishers ask for fees. Maybe I can say that at that point, don't go for any paid. Don't pay anything because your work is to be published. Fees is okay nominal, but publishing charges are not going to be. I don't. We don't encourage that. Some will
Okay.
just get money, publish your article in the next month itself. They'll release it. Maybe it's not going to be of quality. The term quality matters, right?
Katiravan sir, Jaykumar sir, any inputs from you?
See, firstly, from the journal perspective, most of the journal websites they have a recommender system. Like if you take Springer, suppose if you have formulated your paper title and your abstract, you can put it in the your paper title and abstract into that journal recommender system or journal suggestive system, and it will give you a list of options. From those options also you could choose, okay, which journal matches it. Some journal recommender systems also give matching limit, like they give a matching score. So depending upon the matching score, the match of criteria, you could also choose journals. And these days, open access publishing is becoming more trendier. Like there are more and more open access publications coming up. Even IEEE has launched a plenty of open access journals,
Right, sir.
right? And not only IEEE, Elsevier, Springer, and all the leading publication houses have launched a lot of open access journals. So two things scholars have to keep in mind. First, whether the journal is a Web of Science indexed. That is first point. Web of Science, it should be Science Citation Index Expanded, SCIE indexed. So for checking it, you can go just Google master journal list. So you get a master journal list. Suppose you want to check any journal, X or Y journal, you just take the ISSN number of that journal, check whether that journal's ISSN number is available, whether the journal is a genuine one, an authentic one, and whether the link. So these days, master journal list in Web of Science also gives the link to that specific journal or the publishing house. So clicking that also they might identify that, okay, because these days there are many spam journals that have names similar to top journals. It is very important to publish only in good journals. For that matter, it is always good to get a guidance of the professor or a faculty who has more experience and knowledge in this area, and they will give you a good guidance. To add upon to Sir and Madam's points, always go with Web of Science, Clarivate Analytics, SCIE, Science Citation Index Expanded. Suppose students are working in psychology, humanities, those fields, they can go for Social Science Citation Index. Apart from that, check whether the journal is also in Scopus. Then, to add to these points, many there are many criterias of classification of journals, right? If you search Google, there are websites which rank journals. These are the top journals in AI and machine learning. These are the top journals in computer science. So there are journals and there are websites that ranks journals. Apart from that, even Scopus has scores called site score, and they also classify journals into four quarters, like which journals are in top 25 percentage of ranking, which journals are in the next 25%. So all the top 25 belongs to Q1, the next 25 belongs to Q2, next 25 belongs to Q3 and Q4. So Q1 journals are ranked much higher than Q2, Q3, and Q4. So that's how it is. So always it is advisable to pick out Q1 depending upon the subject. So they might mention this journal is Q1 in computer science, but Q2 in, say, applied sciences. So it depends. So it is always good to have guidance of professors to have complete idea and knowledge about the publishing aspect. That should be a good thing. Have a discussion with the professor, give your inputs, get professors inputs, so you can discuss. Over a discussion you can come to a conclusion on journal identification. Hope I think this has given insights on how to select a journal.
Yes, sir, definitely. Sir, if you all are not tired, can we pick two, three comments? Few people have asked a few questions in the chat. If you all are not tired, can we pick two or three?
Sure.
Yes, definitely, yes.
Uh, okay, so one person is asking, if I come up with a technical innovation, then what is the next step? Can I convert it into a research paper?
See, it is what kind of technical innovation the scholar is talking about. That is the first point. It could be it is a disruptive innovation or it is a step by step innovation. So the scholars have to look into what kind of innovation they are looking at. Certain innovations, as earlier Madam has also pointed this out, like it could be transformed into a product. Certain innovations could be transformed into patents. Okay, patents into products, that is another way. So first,
Right.
if they come out with an innovative idea, discuss with the professor and see how it can be converted, how one can convert that specific innovative idea into a problem statement. Okay, and then from the problem statement how they can find out different solutions, and from those solutions how to arrive at the best alternative. So these are some of the basic things which all of us know. But when they have technical innovative ideas in hand, it is good to see what next they should do, whether they should go for patent, whether they should go for a publication, or they should go for a product. So
Okay,
I
sir. Okay.
over to you. Yeah.
Okay, sir. So we'll go to the next question. Uh, there,
One point I would like to add, Amog, there are
yes, ma'am. Yes,
some industries or companies who will be asking for some sort of product, innovative product, and especially which is being developed from students or university. And if they may be just like a feast or somewhere you can project your product, and maybe they can get a copyright. As sir said, you can make it as a patent, and also you can sell the product to them. So maybe the
okay,
idea or some sort of what to say, like a recipe or something, you can just share it with them, and they can make the product into a marketing one.
okay,
So as a beta version, if it is being accepted worldwide, that product can be in your name as a licensed one, and it can be made into a complete commercial product. So that's
right,
based on the innovative product idea or level it can be taken for the next. So
okay,
this can be there. Other than journal publication, this is one point. I think in VIT it is there. We have some a group or team is being already working on that. Site innovations, and even in scope they have it. So you can make your ideas there, project it, and you can also present it to in front of company people. So industries or who would like to have a collaboration. And if your product is accepted after so many maybe levels or interviews or something, then you can make your product into you can sell your product. That's a very
Right.
easy way that as an engineering student, you can right away during your course itself, you can start your product to be in existing. Practically, you can make it.
Okay, ma'am.
But I don't know whether for research it is there. For research, we actually make it into a patent, a copyrighted one. That steps are a little further. I think it's quite a complex process. We have to get it from the government, approved by the government, all those. A student level, it is quite easy. Yeah.
Okay. So one very simple question, I think straight answer with this. So do we have to sign any document or contract before working on a research paper under a faculty?
No.
Contract. What is that? The contract mean?
Document, nothing is
We don't
required.
have any such term like that.
So
Contract
I
or
think we
documents, nothing else. Only I think for journals, usually we have some publisher copyright form will be there. Other than that, we don't do anything with the faculty. No.
Faculty.
Other than no, we don't have anything such.
okay. Then one person is asking, what is the difference between a research paper and a review paper?
Maybe, sir.
Jay Kumar sir, would you want to give your input on this one?
Yes. Say where the first research paper, first you take the in-depth analysis. What are the papers already published in that domain? At least you need 100 to 150 papers for identify the domain, a particular domain. For example, in the drought forecasting, if you want to complete any work in weather forecasting or of any applications, first you refer a lot of papers for research for review paper. But in the normal article, for example, in the research paper, you have to include your results, a complete results. You have to refer one specific algorithm, like any machine learning algorithm, and you have to apply any data set, the benchmark data set to the algorithm and compare your results. Finally, you have to compare your results with the existing algorithm. So this is the basic difference between research paper and review paper. As a scholar, first I suggest first you write a research paper in your domain. First. Then only you can get more ideas. You can directly next what are the research already completed by the researchers. A lot of before 20 years or 30 years, what are the paper domains in the particular domain. Next, you go to the your research paper. Uh, okay.
Okay, sir. Okay. Any other professor would like to contribute to sir's answer?
So first they
Or
have to
should
start with the review paper. Like sir mentioned, Jack Ma sir mentioned, first the student has to identify the, so like a problem identification, we say, like when they go through many papers in the particular domain, when they have chosen, say for example, deep learning or cryptocurrency, whatever it is, IoT, whatever it is, it's a broad area. But when you go through, 100 journal, 100 articles, so you have to download some good articles, then you have to start reading it. So when you go through that, then you will be come up with an idea, you will be come up with one conclusion. So like
right.
that problem identification, so that is actually a review paper. So like when go through many papers, then you will be getting some idea that you can write it as a review paper. That is a review paper. So then research is like when you solve that problem. Okay, so when you have a solution, or when you come up with one output, that you can write it as a research paper, research article.
Okay, sir.
It's a very basic, simple example is review paper is what we start with. Review paper is just to make a study of all the others paper. You will have so much of literature survey. You will try to know what is being done by them and from where you can start or what you're actually being planning. You can skip so many papers too. It's not going to be your original work. Review paper is not your original work. In fact, journal is the one or research paper is the one is actually your work, original work. Review
Right.
paper is just to go through, just like reading an authored book. Someone else would have written a book. You go through it and you write an exam, right? So that is what you usually do in academics. That is a review. So you repeatedly read the same topic with different authors, different publishers, different editions. So you will have different ideas and you can formulate your problem. This is review paper, and usually research will be started from review papers. So that makes a point that you had been detailedly working on it. You didn't jump into a problem. You had been working on so many other problems, then made out your original problem, the original problem. This is what we usually say. Maybe Sir can add, Kadrivan Sir can add on this because he has so many papers on that. Review papers,
Yes,
research
yes,
papers.
ma'am. Yes, definitely. See, firstly, review paper is correlation, as ma'am pointed out, it is correlation of facts, whatever already has been published, that has been papers that have been published, and create a survey methodology. Okay, depending upon narrow downing your research topic, you narrow down the keywords. Okay, prepare the survey methodology. There are professors will be able to guide you in a better way when you approach them. So firstly, the review papers, you have to write it in your own words, even though it might not be an original research article. One has to write the review paper in their own words, what is their understanding. When they read multiple papers, they feel a connect. Okay, this paper one, paper 2, paper 3, there is some connect, a common point of connect. What is that connect that they have to present? And once they read the start working on the review paper and start reading more than 100 plus articles, they might also get idea about what are the open challenges, open problems, or the current problems that are in that specific domain or that specific area. And they could also get, okay, how the future trends would be, how the future trends or future directions could be in that specific domain. So firstly, for writing a review paper, they should formulate a keywords. So what are the keywords that are related to their creating a keyword strategy or a keyword string that are related to that specific statement, problem statement. And depending upon those keywords, they can create a survey methodology. They could search different databases like Google database, IEEE database, and different databases, narrow down the number of papers, remove the duplicates. What are the duplicates they find? See, after scrolling through the titles and abstract itself, they will know, okay, whether this paper is matching their criteria or not. If it is not matching, then remove such papers. And some cases, when they go deep into that paper, like, see, when you look into a paper, it is a very small shortcut. Just read the abstract, introduction and conclusion, or just read the title, abstract and conclusion. One can get complete picture of what is explained in that paper, what is the research methodology. So you correlate all those facts, present it in a neat tabular form, give your own figures, and relate the concepts, like how this concept is related to this, what is missing in this, what could be added to this. So all these additions and subtractions of information and content is just a review paper. It is the opinion. Review paper is nothing, in short, as madam pointed out, it is the opinion of that specific authors, what kind of a survey methodology they have formed, and how they have, whether it was a systematic process, whether it was a scoping process, or it was just a simple review, like they have read 10 to 20 papers and they might have written simple review as well. So see, there are other reviews like book reviews and so on. But coming to the technical review articles, they need to do lot of work, like reading articles, taking down notes from the articles, noting down the key points, like what kind of, suppose in AI, what kind of a architecture was used, how many deep layers, in-depth information about those articles, what are the advantages, limitations, what are the performance measures that are given in the article, like, the performance evaluation metrics, like that. Note down the key points. Always it is better to note down in the form of a notebook, or in the form of a, if students these days they use digipad, so they can use a digipad, or even in their laptop they note down the key points. Then after them, assemble all these key points together and then you can create a good review paper. See, I'm also interested in working with young people. If anybody is interested in VIT or scholars, you can feel free to contact me. I'm happy to work with young and talented minds. Okay?
Yes, sir. Hopefully now they know it is very easy to contact faculty and it is not
Yes.
that big a task and not very scary and faculties are more than happy to collaborate. So I
Yes,
hope they
yes.
take back at least this much from the session. We'll take final questions, sir. Final question for the day. What are the advantages of doing a research paper? How does it assist my academic slash resume? Like what are the if so I'm guessing he means to say in terms of placement maybe or future studies. So how does it act as an advantage? So we can anybody can pitch in.
So industries have been looking for research. When you look at like IT means like you people, so many people might have think like just a coding, testing, and all. So the renowned MNC companies in world, so they have a research lab. So the students, come up with a good paper. So definitely add some good weightage in their resume. And when they see most of the students are applying for masters in various universities, right, in overseas. So at the time, so the research paper, if they have completed any review article or research article, so definitely it's going to give them a good weightage.
See,
Right,
adding
sir.
to the Professor Karthikeyan, I'll say the students who has their resume with a paper publication or presented a paper in a conference, that will definitely be adding a weightage to their resume when compared to their batch or their peers, right? Second thing is the company people or whomever is going to make sure that the resume is being gone through. They will find out that the candidate has been a very good knowledge apart from academics, so he has worked extra to know something about in depth about the subject, and also they can be very sure that this candidate can go further for innovatively making some solutions. So right now, some problem must be identified in an industry. So based on their research work, that will definitely make them to be assured that this candidate will be providing me a better solution. So he has the capability of working in depth apart from just coding and giving some output. That's the machine will do it. In fact, tools, machines, they're all going to do that. But understanding about a problem and coming out with a new solution, a different solution, and making it to be very in a reduced time, definitely that's one weightage for them. And further state, as a higher studies, or in case if he goes to a research, definitely his own paper will be helping him to add a weightage. So already the candidate has published a paper. So I think that this candidate can make it a little faster. So he's not going to delay in the problem. Usually, when we delay in a problem or identifying a solution for a problem, obviously it will be out of date. The problem is going to be out of date, the domain will be out of date. So if it is added, definitely research will be much good. So his focus is already I have solved a problem for this domain, so I can face any more problem also, so I can make out solutions. Maybe that's based on the infrastructure and the technology the candidate knows. This is definitely a weightage. There is nothing going to be said that it is one of the point to be added in CV. Usually, students say that if I publish a paper, it is going to be somewhere in the last, ma'am, that I published a paper. It doesn't mean where does it come in a resume. It is always the best. So for the current trend, it will be like as if it is not important. But in future, okay, during his studies, he had done a publication. That is always a weightage. That
Right.
doesn't matter whether computer science or electrical or mechanical. No, any domain is definitely a weightage for them. Maybe Professor Jaykumar sir and Kadrivan sir can add to this. They know the value of publishing paper, and that's why they said, "I'm ready to work with younger minds." So that's
Okay.
always
Yes.
the best thing.
So
Yes.
not only for higher studies, ma'am, for nowadays every company have a separate research center.
Mm-hmm.
They are
I
working on.
agree.
They expect only the research-oriented students. They expect
Hmm.
that is the reason. For
Not
example,
just answering
uh,
one word and keywords. Yes.
my friends, the 20 years back, now he is working in a Cisco. He have already
Mhm.
published three patent. in network related, SDN,
Yes, that's
operative
right.
side.
They go for the next level.
Yes,
That's
ma'am.
always good. And especially among 100 people running in the same direction, if one makes a U-turn, definitely everyone's focus will be on that candidate. So that U-turn is adding something apart from academics. S grade, 9 CGP, that's common. Everyone can do that. Making a research is definitely adding a CV weightage. In case if I'm an industry person who's going for a interview, first thing is please the students who have published paper come first. That is what I'll do, because that means that the student is definitely the best and also skill. So that is nowhere we are doubtful question. Amol
Okay,
is
ma'am.
thinking, okay, then I have a good CV there, right? Because you have publications.
No, ma'am, not yet.
Not
Hopefully
yet.
soon. Hopefully
Very
soon,
soon. By
if they
this time,
get
you should have
accepted.
got at least 2 papers.
They are in review, ma'am. Hopefully.
You need not do it individually. You can work in team. That will still
Yes,
consume your energy also.
Kathi Ravan sir is actually my mentor only, so I've been working with Kathi
Yeah,
Ravan
you have
sir
said
only.
that. You
That's
have got
great.
a
That's
very good
great.
mentor, the best mentor, man. Then
Yeah, thank you, man.
So
Thank
I've been
you.
definitely
very
have
lucky
at
to
least
work with
four
sir.
publications in your CV.
Yes,
Hopefully,
thank you.
I am good enough to up till his level. One day, hopefully, he
Mhm.
can. I'll be up to his level. So for this event, ma'am, I think we will end with this, so we don't have any other questions in the chat. Also, hopefully, the viewers enjoyed the session and got to learn a lot from this session. And I'd like to thank all the faculties who had taken time out from their busy schedules to join. Thank you, Katiravan sir, Jaykumar sir, Gitanjali ma'am, Kartikeyan sir, and thank you once again. Our core committee selections are happening for SIAM VIT, which are being held from 13th to 21st. So anybody interested in joining SIAM and getting to know more about how we function and what we do, you can feel free to visit our website. It will be down below in the description. And panel two, which is an informal panel with students on how VIT is and any general queries which you will be having, will be addressed in the next panel. This panel was for research, and your next general queries will be addressed in the next panel. So, hoping to see you soon. We'll take a 5-minute break and then panel two will begin. Thank you, faculties.
Right.
Thank you so much once again
Thank you.
for coming.
Right.
And this is it.
Even
Have a
I
good
have
day.
learned something from professors, something which
Yeah,
is
yeah,
new from Jaykumar sir and Kadrivan sir. I have learned something new. That was good. So good
Thank you, madam. We
organization.
have learned from each other. Yes,
thank
it
you.
was a
Thank you,
good
Thank you.
sir.
learning
Thank you,
experience.
Kathiravan, sir. Thank you,
Yes,
Jaykumar
Okay,
sir.
sir.
thank
Thank you,
you,
Jay.
ma'am.
Jaykumar sir, in a very short notice, sir, has joined us. And I
Yeah,
think
yeah, yeah.
Kati sir
Yeah,
is
Jaykumar
very
sir,
good
actually,
for us.
yesterday only I
Sir has
called him like,
good insights.
sir, I
Yeah,
have this.
that is the reason. Okay, ma'am.
Thank you so much, sir,
Okay,
Jaykumar
sir.
sir and
Thank you,
Kadrivan.
sir.
So,